Well, Zesco United had a date with SuperSport United this past weekend in the second leg Confederations Cup quarter-final at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. That's all ZLATKO Krimpotic taking on Eric Tinkler, the former Bafana midfielder. Let's have a look at the two selections that were made by the two coaches in terms of lineup. So in terms of Zesco United in orange, they went for their traditional 4-4-2 this season with Kalengo and JJ Were leading the line. The wingers were John Chingandu and Jackson Mwanza. The fullbacks were internationals Faxon Kapumbu and Silimba. Central defensive pairing of Dauti Msekwa and David Owino Diambo. In between the sticks, Jacob Banda. Of course, SuperSport went for a 4-2-3-1, which was actually patterning into a 4-1-4-1, especially in attack, with Brocky leading the line. Then you had Tusopala and Grobler playing the wide positions. In central midfield, we had Dean Furman and Lesolonyane there. Then we had Morgan God and in central defense, and Modibo was the left back. So, gentlemen, let's get into the nitty-gritties of this selection. So, it was even Stevens from the first leg. I think both teams should have had a go from the first leg. That didn't happen. For Eric Tinkler, he just says, I'm going to Zambia to score a goal. And yeah, and that was his approach to the game. And for ZLATKO Krimpotic, it was a matter of don't concede, get a goal, put this tie to bed as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I think it worked at first for ZLATKO, in the sense that they managed to get the first goal. Because if SuperSport had gotten the first goal before Zesco, it was going to be very difficult. And they tried to work it out, but I think in the balance in defense, I think it wasn't there as they played the 4-4-2.
Okay, let's have a look at SuperSport in attack. Of course, now it was game on them. They had pressure to actually claw their way back out of this game, seeing that they conceded a goal in the 4th minute, courtesy of John Chingandu there. So you need to give credit to Zesco United on one thing, is that their organization in terms of getting behind the ball every time they lost it, and they were applying a medium press, so you'd have 9 bodies minimum behind the ball and 8 at sometimes, because SuperSport United were actually trying to play out. But look at the attacking configuration. You've got Grobler, the number 7 in red. You've got Brocky, the number 11, and Tusopala. But I want us to discuss Reniwe Lesolonyane, the shirt number 6, is that the two central midfielders, now they're playing 4-3-3. The shirt number 28 would go towards the left and try to create a tactical overload with Grobler and Modibo. And Lesolonyane would actually be the three of them with Tusopala there, and the fullback who's coming down to actually provide support. When you look at that one, and they would leave Dean Furman on string-up play duties, seeing that they were playing out. Both fullbacks were actually going up. For Zesco United, that work ethic looks very good, but the question will always be up and down, up and down, up and down. Did they have it, Vespa?
They tried to at least move from the defense. You could see that their organization between the strikers, the midfielders, and the defense, it was working very well. You could see that they even managed to get a goal, which the coach really wanted, that at least if you can have a goal, then you will know how to maybe defend and move as a team. But if you saw the way after scoring that goal, I don't know whether it's a disease for some of our Zambian players. you find that they always want to keep on that goal which they've scored. But if we could have maybe went on with the way we were attacking as a team, I think we could have even gotten more goals than we managed to get to, which SuperSport managed to come back and getting a draw.
Okay, now Dennis, I look at that now right there. Let's try to decipher what their plan was in transition. Is that if you are going to have that many bodies behind the ball, okay, and you leave one player up top, either Jesse Were or Kalengo, it therefore means there'll be minimum 2 versus 1, and in very extreme cases, you have Dean Fairman actually joining there, and it will be 3 versus 1. What did you make of their plan? Number one, to do a medium press against the SuperSport United side that is comfortable on the ball and is able to play.
I was looking at SuperSport and I was thinking this team is very, technical and tactical, very strong side. The way they were playing in the front, they were pushing forward and they were still coming back. And I saw Zesco, it was very difficult for Jackson and John to track back. Was it Modiba or Modibo, the left back and the right back? We had so many problems just to go and track, to go and mark. They were dropping quite right. There will be 9 players behind the ball. But when the ball comes into Zesco's own half, how many players were marking? Very few. If you saw...
so being there and not marking?
Being there, making numbers and not marking. If you saw how many 2v1 were made, especially on Kapumbu's side.
Made moment.
Yeah. 2v1, Faxon against...
Tuso Pala and
Solonyane. Or the other side, same. It will be
Modibo and Grobler.
Mokoena, is it Mokoena?
Mokoena as well, the number 28 would.
Sometimes they will make 3 against 1. Mokoena, Modibo and Grobler, or vice versa. So I was thinking, are we not seeing this?
Hey, Vespa.
Yeah, sometimes you'd fail to understand, especially when people are seated on the bench and some mistakes are happening. Some players may try to adjust in the system you started with. Because if you looked at the way Zesco started, with the discipline, okay, the marking and the holding on of the ball until maybe trying to get the goal. But slowly they lost it, as my coaches say. So you find that sometimes it's the reading of the game itself also, it helps. It's how you are seeing the players, how much are they putting in.
Yeah, but it comes back to one point. How many traditional markers are in that starting lineup? Okay? Because if you look at a midfield, Kondwani and Chaila would mark, they will defend. It's because it's in their DNA.
Yeah.
But my question is about John Chingandu, Jackson Mwanza, JJ Were, okay?
Even Daka.
And Kalengo.
Yes.
And Kalengo. So how much defensive liability do you want to give these players? Because we're about to evaluate Zesco's break attack. But how much do you want to give them in the circumstance?
Because like for that game, you put Jackson on the right. You want him to come back and defend. You put John, who is a playmaker. He plays more like a free row. I think we had the show here. We spoke about John Chingando and Creators, their abilities. You give them a free row, they work for you. Give them a defensive row, they won't. It happened. John Chingando played the national team. He was given a number 8 role to come and mark, go and attack. He failed. Everyone was saying, who is this player? Because the freedom that he had with his previous coach, or I don't know if it's the previous coach or it's the same team or something. Because maybe I'll come with my own philosophy. I'll say, me, I don't want someone who wants just to be playing. I want someone who can mark. To go and mark and go and play. But if you put that one who can't go and mark and play, is used to just playing, it's very difficult.
Okay, let's have a look at Zesco's break attack, because that will tell a little story about what their plan was in transition. So here we go. So SuperSport committing lots of bodies forward. It was man intensive attack. So you basically have 3 and in certain cases 2 at the back. But that's what would happen. Zesco would win the ball back. If they play it short into midfield, it would go into Jackson Mwanza, the shirt number 14, as illustrated on the screen. And right there, Jackson Mwanza will play one pass forward and send it into maybe in Kalengo, where it would be 2v1 towards the ball. But also, if Morgan God follows the stimuli and tries to create cover for Daniels, the shirt number 4, it means Jesse Were is free. And that's when the Jesse Were I know becomes super dangerous. But also, in terms of props, you'd have Kondwani Mtonga trying to, of course, be that link between midfield and attack. Of course, the midfield line and the attack line, and John Chingando as well. The affinity to remain on the line is simply not there. So he would be cutting in, and you'd have players in the central areas, but because of playing a long ball, again, Faxon Kapumbu will need to travel from his fullback position all the way up the pitch to provide personnel in the left-hand side of attack.
Yes, Zite, of late, if you've seen the way Zesco has been playing, look at Chingandu. Sometimes you could get the balls deep from the midfielders, where there is Chaila and Mutonga. You know, Mutonga and Chaila, they are the players who are supposed to be pushing the balls up front, whereby it will be easy for the strikers to receive the balls when you've crossed the center line. But if you force the strikers and the wingers to be getting the balls from your half, that's why you find that for them to recover it's difficult for a recovery, especially for a player who is a striker. You find that you will be complaining they are not shooting on the goal because they are tired from where they are coming from. But if we can have midfielders who is the Mutonga and the Chaila to be getting the balls at least to cross the center line, that's where you are talking about whether who is good and on even holding on to the ball, allowing Jackson and the Chingandu to join them. I think it happened for 2, 3, 4 times for them, which they missed some and they got 2, which helped them to continue moving, searching for some more goals.
Now, I want to pose a fundamental question here. If we can look at Zesco's break attack once more and just ask one pertinent question, is that, look, immediately Zesco win the ball back. You've got Kalengo who's trying to make the pitch big, make a wide run, try to run into space, and Jesse Were is also free. But look at the identical nature of where John Chingandu, the shirt number 11 and number 18, Kondwani Mtonga, naturally is that Kondwani Mtonga probably has been told, my friend, you are the number 8, so when we win the ball, you run. But him, he's running centrally. But so is John Chingandu from the left. And yeah, sometimes you get JJ Were making that run towards the left. But again, he's trying to play in a counter-attack fashion, Dennis.
Yeah, I think when I looked at this, whenever Zesco won the ball and their own half, they put it long into Kalengo. Most of the time, SuperSport were defending with 2 defenders only. All of these guys were pushing forward after they conceded the goal. So now, the problem was Kalengo to keep the ball. And sometimes for John Chingandu and Kondwani to go and make that numerical advantage up front. I think when they did about twice, or they missed, I think, in the goalkeeper. The cross from Jesse comes John Chingandu, face to face with the goalkeeper, misses.
All right, so that was the situation. Perhaps the silver lining to the way Zesco United was attacking is that while SuperSport United was defending with 2 players and Dean Furman just actually babysitting the defense there, there was space in the channels, and that's the way Zesco were constructing most of the break attacks. All right, so let's have a look at Zesco United's condensed attack at the Levi-Mwanawasa Stadium as they took on SuperSport United. So here we go. But here's one thing, is that when we got onto midfield, here's what we should know. John Chingandu always veer into the central areas. Jesse Wero would be making that run into the penalty area because of the positioning and the way the attack is actually being structured. And sometimes John Chingandu would also try to run to the right hand side of things, but SuperSport United, their defenders were actually not responding to John Chingandu's run in between the line, in the channel, especially when he goes to the right, because I don't know, according to them, they didn't see that as a threat. Then you'd have, on the other hand of the attack, you have Jackson Mwanda, the shirt number 14, on the ball there, sticking to the line. He's left-footed, remember, sticking to the line. And you're hoping that because he's been deployed on the right-hand side of attack, you expect him to cut in a lot more and maybe them exchange positions, especially with Kalengo. But it wasn't really working because of the lack of industry in the central areas for Zesco United. So when they got into those areas, those spaces in the channels, they were trying to exploit, and that's how they got their first goal, and that's how they missed a lot of opportunities they were able to create as a result of the foregoing, Vespa.
Yes, Zite, I'm sure if you see the way Jackson Mwanza was moving, I'm sure he was busy changing numbers. He tried to his right wing to at least maybe go forward, but it was difficult for him, I think, to penetrate because of the defender who was also strong and good with speed. Jackson is a good player who can run and with a good speed, but on that day, I'm sure he was like trying to get inside where they was standing, and you know, sometimes when you try to cut in and there is no communication in between the two, you find that they collide, and you just lose the ball like that. But on Chingandu, who also tried to keep his position, he tried, and I'm sure that's how we scored. It's because of his discipline from his left wing. I'm sure Zite, you could see even the attack, Kalengo there trying to exchange passes with Wede. I think if it had continued to like that, maybe even in future, you never know, they can even have a lot of goals on that.
But trying to play direct, and this is something that we haven't seen very often. Tried to play with game control. They'll try to use Kondoni Mtonga, John Chingandu, Jackson Mwanza to actually create and play through the lines and take their attacks forward. But it was different. They were playing very direct to this in this game.
I think it was very difficult for them to play. I thought maybe because Jackson had an injury, or maybe wasn't fully fit. I saw him. He's on the left. He's trying to go into trying to like go inside, because the way I know Zesco, the way they play, they want their winger to use speed, and Jackson's got that pace. He can run, but I wasn't so sure what was happening, because it was like he was shy to go
Trying
to take on,
to protect his injury or something.
or something like that.
Or I don't know. Look, he's left-footed. He's not getting an opportunity to cut in, and the person marking him is a left footer, just like him. So left-footed players know how to mark left-footed players. They know that the right is usually
But sometimes
a support leg.
they hide themselves. Yeah, I haven't seen Jackson. If I look at him to say he's a left footer or a right footer, Zite. He's a complete player who uses both legs, and I'm sure if you are a striker, you meet a defender who is left-footed, and you know that he's a left-footed for sure. You have to know how to maneuver, and you can't be stuck because you are using one leg. You need to adjust it.
Okay, talking about adjusting, SuperSport United, they enjoyed ball possession in this game. By the end of the game, the possession stats were 60-40 in favor of SuperSport United. Let's just look at the equalizer that they scored, courtesy of Tuso Pala. So the goal string up for the 1-1 scoreline at halftime. Let's just have a look at the construction of that goal, the string up of that goal that Tuso Pala actually scored. So here's how the move started. Modibo, the fullback, gets the ball, passes it to Mokoena. Mokoena crosses the ball, and Tuso Pala gets the ball and shoots past Jacob Banda. But let's just have a look at the numbers of who's available to do what. Number one, you have a situation where by the time Modibo is making that pass, the number 16, into Mokoena, the number 28, Jackson Mwanza has been left behind by the attack. By the time the ball gets to Mokoena, Jackson Mwanza has gotten ball side and goal side of the number 16. However, the number 16, Modibo, actually continues his run on the left-hand axis, or the outer channel, so to speak. And then you've got runners, Grobler, Lesolo Nyane, and Brocky running into the 18. That leaves, okay, Tuso Pala on the right-hand side of attack with nobody marking him. So, important ingredient there. And John Chingandu, if you look at his positioning there, John Chingandu actually finds himself on the edge of his penalty area. Let's just look at a picture from that game, the first one, and just have a look at what it meant in terms of numbers. And of course, Faxon Kapumbu was actually tracking back and found himself trying to balance the defense, Dennis, for starters.
Yeah, I think when we were just starting the program, we spoke about balance. So look at this now. The Zesco defense is trying to slide where the ball is. Faxon Kapumbu is Sidwimba goes to the ball, he slides, tries to go and close, and then Odiambo also moves, Museko also moves, meaning Faxon also has to move. But who covers that space where Faxon? Because you have to communicate now. Meaning John Chingandu has to be the last man.
In the line.
Yeah, in the line.
Let's have a look at the first illustration from the game, the actual illustration from the game, so that we build our case there. So, as you can see, Jackson Mwanza on the bottom hand, on the bottom right of your screen is actually running back. Modibo, the number 16, is actually running into that space. Mokoena, the number 28, has the ball there. Just look at the positioning. Now, for Silumba, he's looking at the one on the ball. He's not looking at the one behind him. Then you
have you seen it? That's Yeye making a run. You know, a running man is the one who's most dangerous.
Yes, apparently.
So Silumba is looking at Yeye and is making that is coming inside to come and close Yeye.
Mokoena.
Yeah, is it Mokoena?
Yeah.
The one far that side.
Yes, of course. That's. Let me just break it down
Pala
this
is
way.
not in the picture now.
Yeah. Tuso Pala is actually not in the picture. The one who actually scored. So Mokoena gets the ball, and I'm sure for David Owino, the easiest way to manage that situation is hoping that Mokoena tries to run in between him and Silumba, and you can just block him from giving a cross. But he actually turns. But look at Grobler, okay?
Yeah.
And Lesolo Nyane on the far
On the
side,
far side.
in blue. And Brocky there versus Daoud himself. Let's look at the second picture, shall we? And just see what actually happened. So Mokoena decides to float a screening ball across the 18. He actually stands. Grobler is on the edge of the D. Lesolo Nyane tries to rise and connect with that ball, and then he misses. But look at how many players are in the penalty area for Zesco compared to what SuperSport had. We've got Silumba there, we've got Owino Odiambo, we've got Chaila, you've got Msekwa, and you've got Kapumbu. Let's look at the point where Tusopala actually comes through in the third illustration. He gets there, okay, and then right there, Tusopala is shooting there, okay, Kapumbu is on deck. Look at Odiambo and Silumba, okay, caught in the same position. Chaila can only watch but see the net rattled. Jackson Mwanza is not in the 18 yet, but just look at this. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SuperSport players in the 18 compared to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Zesco United players in the 18. How on earth did that happen, Vespa? How?
Zite, sometimes you'd want to complain of maybe this one was not okay, this one is not good. Sometimes people talk about this coach to be fired because of maybe
no, but it comes back to the argument that Dennis had. He was saying, yes, you are getting into position, but you are not marking.
We are not marking because if
9 players
you,
behind the ball.
yes, if you look at
who's marking?
the tactical discipline of marking with Zesco, it was very bad. I'm sure even the goalkeeper himself should also blame himself, because as a captain, you need to communicate with your colleagues. I'm sure if you look at our Zesco number 2 is our dependable in the national team, and I'm sure if he behaves like that in a crucial game, it will cost us.
But I'm just thinking, when you look at, but again, it comes back to playing John Chingandu where we've decided to play him. Is that in that situation, he should be the one tracking Tusopala. And here's why I'm saying he should be the one tracking Tusopala. Let's have a look at Tusopala's blind run in this game. Is that if you study it closely, Tusopala's blind run starts from a very, very deep position, Dennis. And then he was not tracked. He was not tracked because his affinity to come inside when in attack, the issue of adjusting, now you are defending, so you have to be in a certain position. He has to be providing cover for Faxon.
That's the thing. That's why I was saying, like, you know, a game of this magnitude, you need players who can make. You need players who perform what you want them to do. John Chingandu can never track. That's a fact. He can never track from up front to come and track until, same as Jackson, you just saw in the picture there. Very good going forward, but to come and help in defense. You know, when you are playing these high profile games, you need, if you see even in Europe, they change. If he sees this, okay, this kind of a game, which player do I need? I need this one. I thought Dave Daka was rested because they wanted someone who could track to go and
make
help
them
out.
run before they make
them
change.
run.
No, but wait, hold on. Before you start speaking like that, this was a home game.
Yes.
This was a home game. So, and then it was 0-0. Zesco had to attack. That's the only way you get goal.
Yeah, we needed to attack, of course, but still you have to be cautious. At least we had something. You have one egg. It's better than you have 0.
Okay.
So the 0-0, maybe penalties, maybe they could have gotten something, but still, Dave Daka and Jackson, I didn't see much of a difference.
Yeah, because of late, the person who was playing for
Zesco on the, on
for
the right,
Zesco, it
Dave
was
Daka.
Dave Daka. And if you've seen the way he was playing, though they've lost some of the games, but he was playing according to instructions.
Okay, let's have a look at Grobler in this game. His tactical orientation, because he was actually playing second striker, and it was actually an interesting situation. So where Grobler was deciding where Kondwani Mutonga would actually be. Okay, so you have the shirt number 7 Grobler there, okay, in the middle of the screen. That means Kondwani will be marking central. If he runs right, he'll be marking on the right. If he goes to the left hand side or he goes into the 18, he begins to shuttle deep. But again, it comes back to the tactical orientation of Grobler, the third man arriving into that 18 when Zesco United are conceding that goal to make it 1-1. But look at the trail from where Tusopala begins to make that run in his own half, runs all the way there, okay? And nobody, someone should have told Mr. John Chingando and said, this guy is very quick, so you do not give him a meter, and he's very skillful on the ball. He will beat you if you give him an inch, he will take a mile. But yes, it comes back to that again. A lot of bodies in their own half, in situations, but Lord and behold, SuperSport are able to wriggle their way out of that situation.
I think what I saw was the one who did the damage was Yeye, Resolonian. What Resolonian was doing, Resolonian was in the midfield. Grobler, the second striker, when he comes down, Resolonian would make that run. And when he makes that run, John Chingan was following Resolonian instead of looking at what kind of a run
Tuso pass.
Yeah. So he was always, John was chasing Resolonian, meanwhile Tuso was always free.
Okay, let's have a look at Zesco United's shot structure in this game, because it was a heartbreaking day at the office. It ended 2-2, but look at this. In terms of shot structure for Zesco United, they had some opportunities plenty, and again it came as a result of the spaces that SuperSport United was actually leaving in the channels, Vespa. And then when you look at those opportunities they had an opportunity to score even 4,
Yes.
5 in this game with some efficiency, but yeah, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, yes, especially when you lose the concentration. If you look at the chances they had, this time we could have been talking about where are they going to come for their next game. Being careless, when you are in position of getting a goal and then you lose the concentration and then you allow defenders to get the ball and clear it away. I'm sure even the coach this time is not happy with his strikers' behavior, because such chances, if you can score them, you see the way Manchester City is doing, they have chances, they score 5-6 goals. So which is coming back to Zesco. If you have chances like that, especially being the champions and the team which a lot of supporters they are looking at to say we can be watching a lot of games, to behave in such a manner, coming out losing like that, it was not good.
All right, let's have a look at SuperSport United short structure in this game, because again it ended 2-2 and then SuperSport needed to break out of gear. But Dennis, look at that activity on the blind side or in the sides of the penalty area. 6 opportunities. 6 opportunities.
Yeah.
Inside the 18. They hardly shot from range. So I get the feeling the game plan was to get into the 18 of Zesco United.
Yeah, I think SuperSport, as I said, very tactical. They worked on the mistakes of Zesco. If you saw how many balls did they play behind the Faxon or Silwimba, because they didn't have that cover from John and Jackson. So most of the times they were putting it on the blind side because they knew there was no cover for the guy. That guy slides, like for example the boys on the left, they will slide, they will go to the left, but who's covering behind on the right?
For Silwimba.
For Silwimba. No one. So SuperSport, I think, worked on that because it was happening even in the game that they played in South Africa. I watched the whole game, even that one. So what Tinkler did was to work on the weaknesses of Zesco, especially
United.
No wonder he was very confident that I will get a goal.
Yeah, it's because of the way we were defending Zita. If you saw, like my colleague is saying, the way we were attacking in South Africa, you could see Kondwani attack. You could see Chaila even shooting on goal to try to at least get a goal, which was here it was something else. You couldn't see them going to even try to shoot, but all the time they always want to, maybe like you are always defending. And if you've seen of late, these are the good players we have for the defensive midfield. They've been playing very well. Yes, you can have mistakes, like they've made mistakes. Yes, but in a game like that one, Zita, I think we needed them to work very hard that at least we can win that game.
Okay, now let's look at the heartbreaking moment. So David Owino Odiambo actually scored 5 minutes into the second half to actually make it 2-1 to Zesco United and put us in pole position to the next phase of the CAF Confederations Cup. But Lord and behold, Tusopala, again, the party pooper. Let's look at the other goal that SuperSport United scored and just look at the numbers and the situations. Now, this is in added time. This one is the first situation. So top of your screen, you see Tusopala and Silwimba there. You've got Musekwa, Odiambo and Musekwa in the 18. And then you've got their central defender, Daniels, is actually up top.
Yeah,
and you've got you've got Chaila on the edge of the D, and just outside the D, you've got Kondwani Mutonga there. So the float, one hopeful ball into the 18. What actually happens is that Simon Silwimba, the ball is destined for the area around the D. Simon Silwimba responds to the runner, okay, in the 18, the one who's looking, facing his goal for SuperSport United, who goes and connects and touches on that little ball, beats Silwimba, who's supposed to be marking, guess who? Tusopala at the back post. He misses that one. Then the second part of this, let's just have a look at the second illustration, is that all of a sudden, Silwimba now is finding himself chasing in the 18. Underline that. Chasing in the 18, and yes, right there, he scored. Faxon Kapumbu is raising his hands, hoping that it's offside. But who keeps him onside again? Dautim Sekwa and David Owino Odiambo are the ones that kept Tusopala onside.
I think if the director can just bring back the picture.
The first one.
Yeah, look at this. It's how many Zesco defenders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 1, 2, 3, 4. You remember the first goal again?
It was 7 against it.
Look at this guy. I don't know if it's Jackson or Faxon. He was supposed to go and close to cut this supply, but he lets him. Everyone else was running to go in the box.
Yeah, but
you can go 6 of you to go in the box, marking 4.
But not only that, look at the other SuperSport man just on the edge of the D.
Yeah, look, this one, this was it Tuso? Tuso is the one.
Tusopala is the one.
The other side.
Yes.
Now look at Simon. He comes to come and challenge the ball where even David was going, or Dino, or
Diambo. Yeah,
Even-
because you can tell that he's about
Yeah, he
to
was,
start running.
he was running
Yes.
towards the ball. And what Tuso did was just to move back a bit.
Giving
And
space
China was, they were playing him on.
Yeah.
There was just like a small touch. He
They
controlled
leave
and
space to
Grobler, yeah.
Yes, if
Yeah.
you see the way.
Yeah, it's actually Grobler
Grobler.
who goes to actually toss that ball
Yes.
to Tuso Pala.
Tuso.
And yeah, Lord and behold. Yeah, but who marks who there? In that situation, you've got Grobler running and China. I don't know what he was looking at there.
from my experience, there, a central defender is going there to go and challenge with the ball is in the air. You only fight for one ball. There are not 22 balls on the pitch. No, just one ball. You fight for one ball. So whether especially an aerial ball, one defender can mark an aerial ball because it's floating up. So someone can go there and challenge. Others, there's that principle where we say 1 up, 3 down. One is going to challenge, the
The
three
other
you
one
give
will-
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it didn't happen here.
but again, that situation is that, look, it's 93 minutes on the clock. Where are the wingers? Dev Daka is on the pitch now, but there's no cover for Silimba there. The bottom of the screen on the left, that's the central defender for SuperSport United. Central defender. Where's Dev Daka? Where is Patrick Kashita Kongolo? But anyway,
You see why I'm not talking about Dave in this situation, because where the ball went was on the central, like penalty spot, not on the penalty spot,
but the
on
reason why I'm
on the
asking
edge.
you that,
Wait,
the
I want to
reason why I'm
explain.
asking you that, just a second, is that it's 93 minutes on the clock. You're
Yeah.
leading 2-1. You are qualifying for the next round.
Everyone
What
knows
are you
that.
doing in SuperSports half?
Yeah, everyone. You know what happened? It was a quick start. Eh? They had the corner. They went to start a short corner. You remember it was, I think, 1 minute and 30 seconds. I think almost 2 minutes. 1 minute.
Yeah,
to
but
go.
coach, we needed everyone to start
To-
marking. Just when we
So
lose
when-
the ball,
But even when that's the case, but how come? How did the experienced players playing for Zesco United at this level of football not stop that quick start?
This is what I didn't understand. You go and start a short corner. You know that you want to delay on the corner. Why should everyone else go into the box? Then it means they have to be behind the ball. You start a short corner. In case of anything, everyone else will be here. But there were about 4 or 5 players in the box waiting for that corner. And then they started the short corner. Went out, go kick, started the quick.
it comes back to
yeah.
communication.
Yeah.
The players themselves, if they are not communicating to each other to say, oh, they are starting, this one should remain, looking at time itself, because we also communicate with the bench, the players themselves, the captain, so we look at time. No one should wait and sit
But
that
how
the
do
ball
you
will just
fail
come
to
like
stop
that.
a quick start? And,
Yeah.
and perhaps that's the biggest question. And I know people are calling for ZLATKO Krimpotic's head. But again, let's be fair on the man. Experienced players at this level should not be told to stop a quick start.
Yeah, because you just think, okay, like the way it was, you know, we want to start a short corner there. Okay, guys, let's come behind the ball. Let's wait for what's going to happen there. In case maybe there will be a foul or they will get the ball, they will start a counter attack, or the way they started a quick start.
A quick start, and on a
But
quick
we
start,
were
you
all
don't
watching.
wait for the coach to shout.
To
and
shout,
say,
yeah.
Can you beware
stop
of
it?
yes?
Step on the ball. Step on the
Can
ball.
No, it's
No.
you, the players.
Yes, you, the players.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just have a look at some interesting conversation, because this past week everyone has been comparing the reign of George Chicken LWANDAMINA last year in the CAF Champions League, where of course Zesco United made it to the semi-finals of the CAF Champions League. Of course there have been some changes. Of course there are more teams this year in continental club competitions compared to last year. But let's just compare and contrast, because people are saying no, Chicken LWANDAMINA was better than ZLATKO Kripotic. Let's look at the numbers from a qualitative perspective. In continental football, ladies and gentlemen, ZLATKO Kripotic has played 12 compared to 14 for George LWANDAMINA, as in their whole campaign, up to the time they were eliminated. So George LWANDAMINA played 2 extra games compared to what ZLATKO Kripotic has had to deal with. But disclaimer there is that there was one game that was a walkover, that was against Al Hilal Obeid, after the Sudanese FA was ejected out of the football family by FIFA, and that came with a 3-0 scoreline. So when we go to the next line of statistics, where George LWANDAMINA has then scored 25 goals in 14 matches in the CAF Champions League, ZLATKO Kripotic in actual practice only scored 13, notwithstanding the 3 that were given in the boardroom as a result of the banning of the Sudanese FA. Then if you look at the goals conceded, George LWANDAMINA conceded 17 goals compared to 11, a goal difference of +6 for Kripotic and 7 for +7 for LWANDAMINA. Then George LWANDAMINA won 3 more matches than ZLATKO, that's 5-8. Losses 2-3. Draws, there were even Stevens there, 3-3. Goal scoring average per match 1.4 for ZLATKO Kripotic compared to 1.7 for George LWANDAMINA. And conceding ratio, ZLATKO Kripotic a little bit meaner, 1.1 compared to 1.2. But this was in a season, ladies and gentlemen, that Mbombo got 5 goals, Jesse Were got 5 goals, Cletus Chamachota got 5 goals. Yeah, it was happening.
Yeah, I think
for Zesco.
Yeah, it was happening then, but I think if you see Coach ZLATKO, how many away games did you win? I think that's the most important thing when you are playing continental.
5. He went to Sudan and lost.
Yeah, he lost many matches.
He lost in Sudan. He lost at Recreativo de Libolo.
Yeah, so he lost more matches than you saw the way George was doing. Away, Zesco were getting results. Even when you doubt, you will be thinking, what's going to happen to Zesco? You'll be surprised Zesco won 2-0, 2-1.
So
away from home.
Could it be working in the shadow of what LWANDAMINA did? As in, LWANDAMINA left Zesco United in a very decent position before he left for Yanga. And now, the supporters in Ndola want, I'm sure, minimum is semi-final. Minimum semi-final. Continental club competition best.
Yes, supporters will always cry for you when you are not bringing in results which they want. And looking at Zesco's performance of late, from the time LWANDAMINA left, I think it has slowly gone down. If you look at LWANDAMINA's record, I think I've been with him, I know him, and the way he works, I think there's a big difference with our new coach. I don't know whether it's the language itself. Sometimes you find that Zambian coaches, the assistants may be talking to their own language, which maybe the Mzungu can't understand what they are talking about. If they are talking about him, or they are talking about the players who are making mistakes, or they are trying to improve on what they are doing. So you find that it's difficult also sometimes to even to say who can be the better coach.
Okay.